welcome to
welcome to
episode 42.
42. You're gonna have to bring that way closer.
Oh yeah, the microphone.
Sorry, we didn't go over that
there.
part. It's like a fist, and you're good.
If you want to slide that to you, if you need to,
can
feel
move
free to
anywhere
get
you want to
comfortable.
go.
That's good. Is that all right?
Yeah, you're sounding good.
It's perfect.
All right.
We are here today with Kevin Mercer, also known as Chief Mercer.
Y'all love it.
Yeah. We made sure we took that off, and I was like, we got to put it back on.
It's great.
Today we are broadcasting live, not live, from Justin's House of Bourbon in Lexington, Kentucky, where this weekend they were running an excellent sale. Too bad it's too late for that. But they were doing 10% off all single barrel store picks, which is pretty cool. But Justin's House of Bourbon also buys vintage and rare bottles from private collections and resells them. So if you have a vintage bottle at home, you want to know the price on, or you want to sell it, or you want to buy some vintage bottles, you can reach out to Ryan, who is the operations manager, Ryan, at thehouseofbourbon.com. You can also go over to bourbonoutfitter.com for shipping, merch, and bottles out of Washington, D.C. And they mail you stuff.
In the mail.
In the mail. Bourbon and bourbon merch. Pretty cool stuff.
It's always great.
And to start this episode off, we are taking their pick of a straight bourbon. George Remus, 122.5 proof. And
Nice.
it's specially picked by Justin's House Bourbon. And is a single barrel King of the Bootleggers. So, yum, yum. It's not bad. I almost knocked my
really
head
good.
off.
Bam.
Glub.
I feel like I should have had more breakfast than
Same. I haven't had breakfast, so and this is the second podcast.
Rookie moves. Rookie moves.
that's right. I should have known better.
Kevin, thank you for coming.
Absolutely. Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thanks for making the way out here. And tonight, Kevin is going with us to a charity dinner that we're in Lexington for Camp Hero. And he's sitting at our table, and we're going to have a grand time. I even got table snacks. I got some trail mix.
Nice, man.
Yeah, like with M&M's in it. The good one.
The type that's more candy than trail mix.
Yeah, there's a lot of
I like
peanuts in
that.
this one.
That's good.
I think that's the cheapest thing they can put in is peanuts.
Peanuts,
we're going to load
probably.
this one up.
So throw in some M&Ms to throw you off.
Classy, man.
Yeah.
It's my kind of trail mix.
Is this your first time on a mic podcast?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, all the lights and yeah.
Because you dial in. Yeah, the lights. I mainly have the lights to hide you from the camera because people see the camera and they get nervous, even though it's not live. And anything you say can be chopped out. Or chop you out to make you sound real dumb.
That shouldn't be too tough.
That's not true.
No, it's not true at all.
No,
I was just telling them before you came in, that you're such a nice guy and you're so genuine. I was like, if I had to pick a person to represent Kentucky, like as a personality, it would be you.
Oh, Lord.
It'd be you, and there's maybe 2 or 3 other people that we've met since we've started coming up here that would be the perfect examples of Kentucky as a personality.
It's true.
It's
I will
very true.
say this
honored.
about Kentucky, though, is one thing I like, because we're just, in the deep South. And so our day starts and ends with morning. How you doing? Howdy.
That's right, yeah.
And I come here and I do it, and people are like, what? What are you talking to me for?
Well, I mean, you are in the big city right now.
Is that what it is? The city makes a difference?
Yeah, you got to say big city.
Big city.
That's, yeah.
So Lexington's the
the
big
big
city.
city.
Makes a difference. Those people don't want to
Yeah.
say good morning.
I mean, they do, but not as much. You get more weird looks.
I'll tell you,
You
we
go to Barstown and, that's where you'll get the good mornings.
People are nice.
I'll tell you, I went through, and I won't name drop because we don't get paid, but I went through a drive-through last night, late to grab something to eat, and it was the most polite drive-through experience I've ever had. Like you can ask my wife, I legit didn't know what to say for like 30 seconds trying to order because she was so kind and so polite over usually they're like, if they speak or, acknowledge your existence at all, it's very like, to the point, what do you want? How can I keep your order? She's like, hi, good evening. How are you? How can I help you? And I was like, just a minute. And she was like, oh, that'll be this amount. Just pull right around and we'll get you taken care of. Okay. Like it was so fun. I didn't know what to do.
That's great.
I had the opposite experience.
I'm sorry. Was that last night or this morning?
This morning.
Yeah.
Just saying hello to people. And they're like,
What?
what do you mean hello? I'm like, we're
Weirdo.
greeting of the day, I don't know.
Was it at the hotel?
No, we went.
Maybe they were mad they didn't have hot water too.
Isn't that crazy? This morning I get up to take a shower And, you know, I'm like naked and I'm like, all right, shower time, hot water. Nope, still cold.
That's like having no coffee. That's
So I was
terrible.
like, I just kind of sat there and I was like, which is a beautiful sight in a mirror. And so then I get up and I'm like, so I call down to the front desk. I'm like, there's no hot water. And she's like, oh yeah, there's no hot water in that building. I was like, oh.
Just like nonchalant, like that's a thing, and everybody knows it.
Yeah. And she's like, you can borrow a shower from another room or we can move you rooms. And I was like,
Yeah, let me knock on the neighbors.
so it'd be
Oh my god!
pretty tight to put me in another room. And they did. So they put me in another room. And we get there and then it's double beds and we lost our refrigerator. So I guess the king bed, refrigerator, no hot water, double bed, no refrigerator,
Gotta
hot
have
water.
your priorities.
Yeah. Which is fine.
You have
That's a hell of a thing not to tell you though.
Yeah, I'm sure
depends.
I'm sure that it's like it doesn't always not have hot water. I think that she just said it wrong, but it was just weird for her because I didn't know what to say. I was like, okay. It's strange that this building. I mean, why would you put me in this building? Are there other people that also? I didn't know what to say. All right, let's smell this. So have you ever had George Remus?
Never.
me either.
So I just had it 5 minutes ago. Not this. I had the barrel proof one that everybody freaks out about.
Out there?
Yeah, he was like, "Come around, I need you to try this." I was like, "Okay." Very nice people here at House of Bourbon.
Highly
It's a
recommend.
nice place.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I'm very happy that they had us here.
This is
It's
a
way
sweet
better
little
than
room.
it's way better than a hotel room with no hot water.
100%.
That's true.
I mean,
It doesn't even smell like a 122 proof.
No, it doesn't drink like it either. It's
No.
very
Oh, did you already
caramely.
try it?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
There's cinnamon on that too. A good amount of cinnamon.
Wow, there is.
Do you like cinnamon?
That's good.
In a bourbon?
I do.
I'm gonna have you try this. I might buy you a bottle of this if you like it. I'm buying myself one. I've never had a bourbon that tastes like this down here. It's another one of their picks.
Oh, yeah?
It's really good.
Dang, that's good. Is this y'all's first time trying this too?
Yep. Did I get you something
Nice.
special?
Is there a year?
Tight. There's
I thought there were small notes of plastic.
there's a whole piece of plastic in that Glencairn. Nice. You're welcome.
You won the lottery.
I was going to say,
It's
I get vanilla, oak, and plastic.
I'm looking in here and I'm like, these are clean, right? Yeah, they are. It's pretty
That's
fascinating.
good.
So for those that don't know,
If you haven't caught any of the previous,
Yeah.
sorry, are you talking? Are you going to?
yeah,
I'll shut up. You talk.
excuse me. Cut that now. Sometimes I forget where I'm at. So for those that don't know, Kevin works at Jim Beam in multiple facets. One of which he's well known on the Instagrams for as Chief Mercer, and he's a firefighter. And you also volunteer. There's like junk everywhere. You also volunteer for the local, also volunteers there. And then you're a woodworker as well for Jim Beam.
Yep. Carpenter.
Carpenter. We say,
That's the industry word.
I know, but
Yeah.
woodworkers.
Well,
like,
carpenter. So like woodworker to me, when I hear someone say woodworker, like you tinker in the garage and you make cool stuff on the weekends.
Oh, I see.
A carpenter like
I was looking at it differently.
builds legit shit
Yeah.
that requires.
You might be reaching on that too. But we build things that may or may not fall down.
The thing is, if I was going to have something built at my home, like I would call a carpenter before I'd call a woodworker.
Yeah, I guess I looked at it the other way around. I looked at it like carpenter was like, yeah, it's a job, but woodworker, like you're really good at it. That's the way I was
Oh, I
looking
see
at
what you're
it.
saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
I was looking at it backwards.
Okay.
Carpenter. But you know everything there is to know. You're as close to a Cooper as I can get right now, right?
Pretty much.
Well, back in this room, I'm probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But
that's
I
what
mean,
you could fiddle
my
your way
knowledge
through it.
of cooperage is
Closest thing to us,
cooperisms.
as much as we deal with barrels.
Yeah. I think you could probably
next closest
figure it
thing.
out.
Yeah.
If I was like, build me a barrel, I think you could get there.
Well, I'm glad you have the
It might leak, but I think you can
you
get
have
the,
all the faith. Yeah.
I think you can get the dimensions right, you know? You definitely know what they look like.
I know what they look like. I can fix them if they're leaking. I can do that.
Yeah.
That's gotta
with the,
count for
with the
something.
reed thing.
Yeah.
How do you do that? You just chisel the reed in it?
Well, most of the reed thing is like in between the the staves.
Yeah.
So they mostly do the reed stuff in the cooperage.
At the cooperage, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it fails the, QC stuff or whatever.
Gotcha.
So like what we do is, you might have a pinhole somewhere or whatever. So we have these little cedar wedges and cedar, like, I don't even know what they're called. They look like little golf tees or something that you wedge in there to cover that gap.
So if you were to accidentally drill a hole in there to taste some.
Yeah, you would put a plug in it.
Didn't you say you were going to get me some of that? Some of that fresh barrel?
I wish I could.
You can. I bet you've been in a rick house by yourself before.
I have, but I like my job.
Yeah, but they would never know. You just
They'll know.
They'll know if an ounce is missing.
Oh, they have their ways to find out, I'm sure.
We just saw a whole movie of it where they were taking entire barrels and nobody noticed.
For years.
Yeah.
The Pappy Gate?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's serious.
We did a whole episode on it, like how much it actually was, and it wasn't that much. It wasn't as much as they made it seem. And it was
as far as what they stole?
Yeah. But it was over a period of many, many years. It wasn't like they came in and heisted.
They call it a heist, but it was just
it was
like a slow leak, you know, as a result of poor security. Like it was just lazily grabbing things when the opportunity arose. A heist to me is like, the
Italian job.
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right, yeah.
You like rappel down and as a sunroof or,
Yeah, yeah. There was no Mini Coopers involved. Yeah. It's just like
none.
Yeah, it doesn't qualify for no Mini Cooper.
No.
Can you imagine retrofitting a bunch of Mini Coopers, emptying it out to fit a barrel inside, and they just all zoom in and you load barrels in
I know a guy you could hire to help you do that. Just take the back gate off and you'd have this ramp thing where you could just slide them right in. Well, we found that it took us a while, but we went through the whole case. I looked up court documents. We did the whole thing, and we figured it out how they got caught. The guard. They greased the guard, and it was $400 total for 2 thefts. So when the cops came in, they were like, who was working the guard that night?
Yeah,
and they walked out right up to her as a female, and they were like, hey, you were here. And she's like, all right, sit down. And here's everybody that was involved.
Well, I think it probably happened whenever they announced the award. And she was like, they gave me $400, but if I just turn them in,
10 grand.
10 grand.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's our guess. We don't know. This is all alleged. We don't have any.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I did watch the series or whatever.
You did?
I did. And it did. You're right, though. It seemed like they made out with like 10 barrels a day or something, you know, like.
Well, and when he
it was 28 bottles of Pappy.
But when you watch the news clips and the anchors on CNN and everything, they're laughing. They're like, the heist.
Bourbon heist of the century.
That's why.
That's as soon as I saw it, I was like, why are they laughing? Because if you watch them do a murder, they're like, in today's news. You know what I mean? So if it was a really bad crime, they would have had a different face on it. But they were all joking around. They were like morning coffee and yeah, that was a heist.
Also, nobody died stealing bourbon.
No. It was
That's true.
Yeah. And then he did 30 days in jail for it.
It was all his wife's fault anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. She said he couldn't hang out with his softball team anymore. And this is what happens.
She said, she said you can either play softball.
I didn't see that.
Play softball or have a family. And he was like, all right, I guess I'll hate. So he got bored and missed hanging out with his buddies and then figured out that he could hang out with his buddies by getting together and stealing bourbon. So it's her. I think it's her fault.
Goodfellas won like 3 times. And then he was like,
I can do that.
So what do you think about this?
I think it's great, man.
It's pretty good. I think I pour myself way too much of it. I feel bad.
The cinnamon.
Yeah, and if you guys watch this, thank you for giving us that bottle and these other 2 to try. They obviously didn't give it to us. They just said you can try this. But it's really good. I'm enjoying it. So, Jim Beam, we were talking about earlier the expansion they have going on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What can you say?
Gosh, man, I don't even know.
What's the point of the expansion?
The what?
They're doing like a new craft distillery thing.
They're doing a new craft distillery. It's supposed to produce about 1 million proof gallons a year, which is still one of the biggest in Kentucky as far as what I'm aware of, I think. So we call it a craft distillery, but I mean, it's still pretty good size.
Yeah.
I actually went in there a couple of weeks ago, man. It's nice. They built it up nice.
How long do they think before it's open?
Well, they're up and running now. They're producing whiskey now, but it's a matter of, when they're going to open to public.
Did you guys open Labor Day? That was the original goal.
To
open the gift store Labor Day or the
nothing's open right now.
Oh.
But I'm thinking, I don't remember when they started the distillery up. It was right around maybe the end of July or so is when they actually started producing in the Craft Distillery.
What are they making there? New stuff?
Their plan is to make mostly the small batch stuff and the specialty stuff. So, we have 2 stills over at the Booker No plant, which is in Boston, Kentucky. And we have the Claremont plant has 1 still. Between those 3 stills, they're making about 45 million proof gallons a year.
Wow.
And this little one is going to make 1 million.
Jeez, that's huge for a craft distillery.
Yeah, so.
Wow. How much is that a day? I mean, those are gigantic. That's a lot.
I don't even know. I want to say they produce like 40 or 60 barrels a day or something like that. Craft. Yeah.
You see what we've done? You see what you guys have done to the bourbon industry that craft is now?
Yeah. So it's still, they call it craft, but
it's big
still
craft.
much bigger than,
Big brand craft.
Yeah, basically. But, but their plan for the Craft Distillery, or they call it the Fred Booker No Distillery, is to pretty much do like the small batch stuff. So they're able to do like the Knob Creeks, Baker, Bookers, that kind of stuff. And so that way the big distiller or the big stills, they don't have to switch over, cooking different stuff all the time because it slows them down, switching over products. And because, you all know, you distill things differently, different temperatures, different ways, and all of it's different. So they're setting up, it's just a hassle. So that's their plan, I think, initially, is to build that one just for small batch stuff.
Gotcha.
That makes a lot more sense.
It does.
Yeah. From a production standpoint, and,
especially
plus you get a little more attention on that stuff too.
Yeah. Because it's more of a specialized thing where you're not worrying about, because a lot of that stuff's automated now, right? Anyway, so. Yeah,
your temperatures. I'm not sure how much of the new distillery is automated. I know the old Craft Distillery was, you had some automation as far as your temperature readings, but as far as all the valves, they were all manual. I believe all the valves and stuff are manual at this new place too. I believe, but I haven't dove that deep in there yet. So
that's interesting. You would think it would all be, but even then, you still hear stories about the guy that comes in and he's like, "It smells weird." I can tell that you're doing it wrong, so I guess it wouldn't be all super automated.
I think it's one of those things that even with automation, just like I was going to make an example, but not a good one. But
bad comparison. Home of bad examples.
Yeah, home of bad comparisons. And
so like in one form of automation is y'all are aware of the heads and tails. Y'all have heard that term or whatever. Well, like in our distilleries, the heads and tails are automatically taken off of the still.
Okay.
It's something in line. I don't know how it works, but there's something in line that proofs it. Yeah. And if it's below or above the proof.
Proofs it in line? Oh, yeah, and so as soon as it reads proof, it stops taking the head or the tails.
Yeah. It'll divert it over to another tank, which is what we call the heads and tails tank.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's distilled again in what they call a stripper still. So
those are the smaller little pot-looking stills.
Well, our stripper stills are column stills.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. But
they are smaller though.
Yeah, they're quite a bit smaller because you're not getting as much heads and tails.
I didn't know that they distilled it again after pulling it. What do they do with the distillate?
Well, yeah, they distill it again after it gets in this heads and tails tank, because the reason why you pull heads and tails is because the toxins in the whiskey,
that's the things that make you go blind, they say.
Exactly. So what you do is you distill it again in the right temperature and get rid of all that stuff, and then you can reuse it.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Distill it again at the right temperature. I didn't realize that you could pull it out. I guess you still have more head. Do you have another heads and tails after that one? Because there's going to be heads and tails in the next one too.
I would say it probably gets circulated back through to the heads and tails tank.
Just dump it in the river.
No, that's a no.
Oh, you don't do that. Okay.
Cut that out.
Yeah.
Scratch that.
So What about the ghosts at Jim Beam?
The ghosts?
Yeah. I heard tell.
I have heard ghost stories.
Ever experienced anything?
Don't know if it's true or not. No, but I tell you what, man, sometimes you get in those warehouses and it can be pretty spooky.
I bet
you kind of like, you start hearing stuff,
Sure.
But they're old crickety buildings anyway. But I've heard a lot of people say they've heard talking and, seen people up in the windows from, sitting outside or whatever. And,
Oh, wow.
Those kind of things.
Do they know who the ghosts are?
There are. Gosh, man, you're all really testing my brain this morning. I think there is one ghost, and maybe it's in the Jim Beam White, the actual, the family home that's on the property, the White House.
Yeah.
And I believe they know who that one is, like the name or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't remember hearing any other names in the other distilleries. We actually had a tour guide years ago do like a, what do you call those?
A tour?
Yeah, they did. Gee, I'm done. No, she did like a special that like they did
A documentary or
a ghost.
Like one of those seance reading things. They come out with the little.
Well, they did like a show to like try to capture the ghost on the show.
Like
How to Catch a
ghost
Predator
chasers
ghost.
and
Yeah, like ghost hunter.
Ghost hunter,
deal.
yeah.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. And they told all the ghost stories on that, but which was kind of neat to see. But it was still, I guess the ghosts just aren't going to come out for like the
Yeah, for the people that are there.
Yeah, so so it's kind of cheesy, but it's cool to see work. Like, hey, and that's on,
We have ghost tours in Charleston. And sometimes you'll just hear them come by and they're like, "This is the house that in 1785 a baby was killed." And you're like,
have you ever been on the ghost tours?
"No,
Why?
why would I?" Because I don't need that in my head. Two, it's like I struggle with that realm of.
there's one ghost. There's
reel.
one ghost tour that I'd be interested to do, and it's the one that goes from bar to bar.
Oh,
And at each bar, because those buildings weren't always bars, obviously, and so there's history with each building, and they give you a little ghost story while you drink a beer, and then you go to the next one. I'm there for that one.
USS Yorktown.
There you go.
If there's a USS Yorktown ghost tour, I would do that.
Because
Those would be some scary ghosts.
I would do that, and then what I'd want to do is take my son's scout troop on that tour, and then tell them we're camping out here.
Yeah,
Because they do that. They'll
have me
out.
come because I'll paint up and then I'll get a fake Bowie knife and I'll just in the middle of the night I'll just stand there beating pots and pans.
Yeah.
And then I'll drop a smoke bomb and I'll run away.
Because they let scout troops camp out on the Yorktown. So that's a thing
Oh,
they
that's
do.
cool.
So this is
Kinda cool.
I don't know the years, but it's one of the earliest aircraft carriers. Like it was in the Battle of Midway, I think. Something like that. It's very old.
Yeah, I'm not. So I think they retired them not long after Vietnam because my grandfather served on the Bonhomme Richard, which is the sister,
twin, yeah.
sister ship to that one, whatever you call it. So yeah, it wasn't long.
But yeah, it sits in the harbor.
cool.
It's massive.
It's huge, yeah.
But it's really cool. They have a bunch of planes on the deck that when you do the tour, but they have a Vietnam experience outside of it. And so I got out of the Army, moved to Charleston, and I was in Afghanistan and stuff. So I was like, I wasn't in Vietnam. I don't care. So I go through this this part of my life. So I go through the Vietnam experience, and then there's an IDF alarm that goes off. I haven't heard that in months. Forgot about it. But what that sound is indirect fire. When they shoot mortars at you, the sound goes off, and then you have about 15 seconds before it hits the ground. So which I hate. I'd almost just rather not know because you can't make it to a bunker that quick. So I'm in there and then bah, 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 incoming, and I'm like,
Which is also not time period
it's not. It had,
right? Had nothing to do with Vietnam. They just threw it in there.
They didn't have those back then. It's like a big bubble that they put in the middle of the fob, and it's got this tension to it, like radio frequency tension. If something breaks it, the alarm goes off.
Okay.
But where we were, that was it. It's just an early warning. But some bases have miniguns attached to them. And so you'd hear this thing, and then you'd hear...
I thought they always did.
Bah! No, only the big fobs.
Oh,
so you'd
bummer.
hear... Bah! And you'd see tracers go through the night, and I always wonder where those rounds go. We're in the middle of a city, and they're just shooting 50 cals in the air.
Just some village.
Yeah.
10 miles away.
They're coming down, you know? I don't know. I always thought that was interesting.
It's probably not funny.
That's funny to me.
Probably not.
But we're not there anymore.
But we're laughing.
All right. I'm going to complete this. I want you to taste this other one.
All right.
All right. So I want to try this. This is the Justice House of Bourbon Cinnabon. 7 years old, 121.78 proof.
Dang.
So the reason this is interesting is because it's distilled in Kentucky, but we don't know where. But there's
Kentucky.
like 3,000 distilleries in Kentucky. No, I'm going to use the same glass.
Let me see. I'm just curious.
For this one.
Is that all it says?
These are the ends of the
distilled in
glasses.
Kentucky?
Okay. Do you want him to use the same glass?
Yeah. Just for this one.
Sorry.
It's okay. You're fine.
All right. Well, I was curious, but
It doesn't say.
it doesn't say.
So I want you to taste it because, so these are always off barrels, you know, but I'll start with you. Just go around the room until I find who I want to start with. We're not going to have a ton of, but if you like this, I'm going to buy you a bottle. But you got to like really like it. But this will be your gift for coming on the show. Yeah, this is our third episode together.
It is.
You are our most repeat guest.
Did I make it? I'm to that level?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
You are what I would consider probably our only regular.
Yeah, definitely only regular.
Awesome.
Congrats.
I'm excited for tonight when we can actually just hang out. Because every time we've done this, it's all, yeah. Congratulations.
That's for you.
Oh, that's great. Gives me the warm fuzzies.
It should. There's a.
They can't hear any of this
I know,
going on, so
but-
it's funny.
What do you have another one? Let's go through the new sounds. Actually, let's just go ahead
Yeah, I
and go
want to
through
hear
the
them
new
all.
sounds.
So we have just
Let it go.
He does that to me when I'm saying something and I'm bragging.
sometimes he gets down a rabbit hole and it's really exciting, and I'm like, I'll just go.
I'll be like, well, we're both certified bourbon stewards. Yeah. So that's not.
Or this one. Just like, oh wow. I think the only
Do them all. What's the top left? Oh yeah, new product alert. Which we haven't done in a hot minute.
no
Gotta have that. I love that one.
good booze.
Yeah.
Just a countdown. There's nothing fancy there. And then it's like a 3-minute folk music song. Just
It's not a bad song.
And then it's your song.
Nice.
Hail to the Chief. We only use that song for you.
You're still the
Awesome,
only
man.
one that has a song. No one else has a song.
That's awesome.
All right.
That's great. Now, next time we do this, I want full control over the buttons.
You got it.
Yeah,
Because I
for
feel a
sure.
little left out.
You can definitely have full
I mean,
control.
I got the fancy headphones and
We could
Nice
probably
mic,
find
but-
I thought about this, an
app.
app.
Yeah.
An app that does this like a soundboard app. and
Well,
then
they
we can
have
just plug
the
it into
export.
phone.
They have this.
The external one?
Yeah.
And just give
So they
it-
have one. We can just give you one before you tell us what 4 buttons you want, and we'll get you and we'll put it right here.
perfect.
Just let him choose them.
Sweet.
Surprise us.
Yeah, you pick the buttons.
Yeah, let's do that.
Then we'll put it in the 4th channel, and he can just do whatever he wants.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
All right, sounds good.
Smell this.
Y'all are in for it now.
Oh, we're excited. Please be offensive. Please be offensive. How much cinnamon you get?
A lot on the nose.
Isn't that nuts?
That's crazy.
Wait till you taste it.
That's amazing.
So we've had this one. We haven't had the other one.
Wow.
It's funny because there's so much cinnamon
different.
that it hides the burn. Like I
And this is
personally,
like 122 or something?
Yeah.
Like, it does not drink that way.
121.78. Which I mean, 0.78. They really went down the number.
Well, it's a lot
Right.
different than 0.76.
That's good, man.
That's what we should start. We always joke about people that are like, "This was a 120, but it drinks like a 118," and I'm like, "All right, asshole.
Does it? Does it?
Or we're gonna start doing that. This is a 120. That's not bad, but we had a 120.3.
Yes.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's super interesting. It's $80.
No kidding. I bought a barrel barbell bourbon, but I haven't yet to try it.
They've made some interesting stuff. I've had several of them. Every single one's different, and I think they actually
That's
say that
interesting, though.
each
Good.
single barrel is unique. which is the truth anyway. You can have the whole bottle.
Cinnabon.
It's just a very interesting
7
flavor.
years? That's good, man. It's real good.
So let's talk about your collection, which I know you're always like, don't have one. But you just told me yesterday you have every little book except the new one. So you clearly have somewhat of a collection.
I have a little collection. I mean, mostly of Jim Beam stuff, right?
It's fine.
Which is nothing wrong with.
Yeah. We have a good friend that has probably 90% of his collection is Heaven Hill stuff. That's what he likes. It's just
really
whatever you
right
like.
now he's
the way it works.
He's on the wrong side of history.
Yeah. He is. Still love you.
Boy, is his face red. No.
Yeah. I think about and I don't even know if we follow this guy or if I ever even talked to him, but Heaven Hill Fanboy is his Instagram name.
Rough.
Yeah. Because we bought that JTS Brown last time we were here, and I took a bunch of cool pictures of it. Can't post it.
No, not until the stuff's figured
out. We took
out.
all the Heaven Hill bottles out of the studio. I mean, nothing. Yeah. We saw an Evan Blaine single barrel yesterday. Bought it. But didn't want to. Didn't want to. But you never get to see it, so it's...
Well, it's allocated where we are now.
Well, the way I look at it is they made that. That's like probably,
I love the stuff that those hardworking folks made.
Yeah.
I hate putting more money in them.
Also, if you think about it, just because the store bought it. So really you're supporting the store, not...
It's true.
There's no way to explain it.
I gotcha.
That's that dig hole, the dig deeper. I always say something and then I'm like, no, let me explain. Then my wife's over there like...
Yeah, we need that on a soundbite.
Yeah. The sound of the digging.
Yeah.
I should add that.
That might be on mine.
That's a good one.
When I get it set up.
You'll definitely use it with me. We'll have to mail you. We'll mail you the thing, and it'll come with instructions on how to do it. You just plug it in the computer, and you just put the sound in.
It's going to be
and
awesome.
I'll give you our account to the sound place we use, so you can download whatever you want.
That'd be easy.
This will be perfect.
Great.
I'm just really excited. So if there's one thing somebody needed to know about Jim Beam, there was a cool fact. Oh, it's a beard hair. And you think they should know it.
Good Lord, man.
What's your favorite thing? People like, for instance, when I talk about whiskey barrels,
favorite thing?
I'll be like, this is my favorite thing about whiskey barrels, and I'll say it. I don't have one, but if I did,
oh, so you're just gonna throw this gem on me?
Yeah. So if someone's
Put me
like,
on the spot.
What's the best thing about working at Jim Beam?
The best thing working at Jim Beam, gosh, man, that's tough. I mean, I would hate to say like the fire department, but I mean, it's the fire department.
That's what I figured.
Huh?
That's kind of what I figured.
Yeah, I mean, it's the camaraderie and, the men and women of Jim Beam Fire Department.
They give you a split, like they give you a schedule, like I need you at the fire department this time on these days.
No, not really. No. We have our training periods, our training days where everybody gets off their primary job and goes to train and keep up with our certifications and stuff. And then we have, but we have special days too, I guess, that we're off of our primary job. But, that's about it. I mean,
so you do your primary job, and then if there's a fire, you leave primary job.
Yeah, and rush to whatever it may be.
So you carry radio all day?
Yeah. Yeah, carry a radio, and we have our tones or whatever that comes out, and we're not like a high volume call, or whatever, but we do have a lot of different things.
Do you have to respond like if somebody strokes out on the on a tour or something?
Oh yeah, the tourists are not to throw anybody under the bus, but they're kind of a wild card, You never know who you're going to get, what kind of medical issues they have. And, a lot of times, especially on tours, towards the end of the day, everybody's going to these different distilleries and they're drinking all day. They're not eating or drinking or, drinking water, I should say. But they're just drinking bourbon all day, kind of like what we're doing now. And then by the end of the day, you're just like,
Well, I didn't think about that. Like going on a distillery tour, and Jim Beam's the last one, and it's like July 17th.
There you go.
And you had water all day. You come through a rick house and you're like,
or and they take them through the fermenter room. If there's steam in a fermenter,
oh yeah, it's hot.
then it's like 100-something degrees. Or
it's like going to a lepidopterium.
Oh, what?
Fancy.
It's a butterfly aquarium.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Or
Terrarium, butterfly terrarium.
That's a big word. I'll give him a cheer for that one.
That was good.
It wasn't a brag.
They're always very humid in there.
They are.
Oh, thank you.
I've never been to one.
I feel really good. I've been waiting for a long time to say that word to you. As soon as you were talking about a steamy room, I was like, yes.
He stopped listening and just waited for an opening.
No, I was practicing it in my head. I was like, yep, okay.
Just waiting for the pause. I should have known. I gotta finish this.
So I got one more pour.
Right.
No rush. And for this one, we will have new glasses.
Good.
I mean, there's another pour after that if we want. You can give to me. Thank you.
Are you the glass person?
Hey! Oh. They didn't break.
You that right on cue. You're the glass person. Clank, clank.
Boo. See, we need to switch spots, man. I mean, I hit the wrong button, but that's beside the point.
Do you want to switch spots? We can.
No. No, it's okay. Look at that. I've yet to try this.
I know. That's why. Oh, you open it.
Why are y'all staring at me?
That's why.
Who is responsible for that?
That is
Kevin.
crap.
Who?
I hate when that happens.
What employee do I need to call?
I'm not even going to say, but I'm blaming this on Mexico. Just saying.
Is that where the caps come from? Or the corks?
The corks.
Well, they're not even corked. They're...
Well, that's a bummer. Eat a knife. There you go. There you go.
I can't watch you do that, man. It makes my teeth feel funny.
I feel like a pirate. That's a Kentucky pirate, by the way.
That's plenty.
Not a Louisiana. Not an LSU pirate. Or ECU. Yo, did you see we passed West Carolina University on the way here?
Did you know that was a thing?
No, I saw it and I was like...
They're like the Wildcats or mountain lions or something.
I'm going to start telling people, yeah, I went to WCU. Just because nobody will know what it is. Because Gus went to ECU. That's the reason I'm saying.
Okay. So what's involved with this? What do we have mixed in here?
It's...
You're going to let me... Let's see here.
Yeah, it's a 3-5-7-12. 3-5.
Freddie, no.
I can always see like the color. Like, I mean, that's one thing that, I can see.
What is it?
Yep, 2-3.
2-3-5-12.
Looks like 15, man.
Is it?
Yeah. So we're looking at all...
What's the 2?
So 2-year-old bourbon, 3-year-old rye.
If you had to guess what these were, run it through it because you would know better than anyone.
What do you mean run it through?
Like, what do you think that 2 year is?
I don't know. Let's call Freddie, huh? Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
I don't know if I have Freddie's number or not. He'd probably say I'm freaking crazy, and I need to.
Hey, Freddie, it's Kevin.
Sorry to wake you.
You know me, Kevin. You know me, right?
Is he asleep at 1:15?
No, I'm sure he's awake, but I mean, sorry to bother you, sir, but
I had that is a 15. You're right.
I have a question about Little Book.
I have a really important question. How come that you would think that they would put more on there? See, that's where you got me because I didn't even read the whole thing. So 3 year, you're like 3 year, it's a rye. I was like, how did he know that? It says it right here. 3 years, it's a rye.
You're supposed to give me the benefit of the doubt that I'm just that smart.
That's why I was like, what do you think these are?
Like, he must know the tags are like the system.
But this bottle, huh?
Turns out he just reads.
Guess what I got? Guess what I brought for us to drink tonight?
That?
Yeah. No.
No.
This bottle though.
Oh, that bottle. Oh, it's nice.
The Baker 7.
I brought some bottles to drink also.
Hell yeah. I have a bunch actually. What else did I find? Oh, I got I'm not going to waste time doing this. I found some good bourbon while we've been here already. We've been here not even 24 hours, and I have a lot of good bourbon in my truck.
Excited about it.
Yeah.
I apparently do not know the right places to go look for bourbon.
You have to go to all of them.
Yeah. It's not one or two places. It's just...
Bardstown and Louisville are like a desert wasteland of...
You got to go between those places. Like this,
that's where we find everything is in between the spots where he does.
Like when I bought this, the lady was like, it's $130. And I was like, I know. She was like, sweetie, it's going to be like $150 after tax. I was like, I understand. She's like, are you sure?
That's the southern thing.
That's where you go buy it at.
Hun,
those places.
Yeah.
I got you.
When I checked out,
those places.
I don't know if you heard, when I was checking out, did you notice the drive-through window behind her? As that window opens and as she's checking me out, she goes, smells like antifreeze. And then she goes, whatever the guy's name was, tell that lady I think her vehicle's overheating. It's like, oh. She's like, do you want a bag with that? I'm like, yes, please.
It's a liquor store and automotive shop.
Yeah, you can get your alcohol, your ice, your beer, and
it's not bad.
That was the other thing too, because I got the ice, and she's like, "You want a big bag or a little bag?" I was like, "I'll take a big bag." She goes, "Sweetie, it's $20. It's 20 pounds." I was like,
okay.
So what is that? This much? That'll do. If I don't use it all, just throw it in the parking lot.
That's right.
It'll melt.
It's like $2.50. But I just bought a $130 bottle of bourbon. I think I can afford.
I'm not worried about $250 for a bag of ice.
20-pound bag of ice.
But
shoot.
But no, those are the places you got to go. And this place is like in the middle of nowhere. And we almost slammed on the brakes to go get it. Like, did you see me pull in there? Mm-hmm. Because he was following me, and I was like, liquor. I just stopped.
And after those mountains, and the brakes on that vehicle that I'm driving are already
on the way
need to be replaced. So slamming on the brakes was fun.
So what do you think about this?
I haven't tried it.
Have you had 3, 4, 5?
Yes.
Which one's your favorite? I think this is 5.
Yeah,
is it the third one that's the all bourbon?
The third one is what Chad does. This is 5. The third one was the one Chad said was the best.
Yeah, like third. I think that's the all bourbon, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I liked that one. And I didn't mind the one. Was it last year's that had all the rice, brown rice?
I thought last year's was interesting. Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah, it was something different. I know it didn't really get the best reviews.
I don't think this one's going to get good reviews because of this 2-year. I don't know. I'd like to know why.
What's the proof on this?
116.8. 2.4.
Because the 2-year you can smell hardcore.
Yeah.
I think it's the 2-year that carries that long finish. That
it gives you that throat punch.
Yep, right in the throat.
Yeah, it's interesting to see a 2-year-old and a 15-year-old.
Yeah, it's strange. It almost feels like the 15-year-old must have sucked. Because I think it's a lot of times over 12, 13, it's not good anyway.
I agree. I like 11.
I think 10 is like a 10, good sweet spot. 11 can be good, but like 12, I've had 12 like this. This one we just had, this 12. This is a good 12.
Yeah,
Remus?
I would like to try that 12 behind you.
That doesn't seem.
Excuse me, not the Remus. This you haven't had that. This 12. This was pretty good. We had this on the last one. If you wanted to try some later, but there's another bottle that Justin's house where gave us.
Fancy. I like it.
Yeah, we might throw some B-roll in here of like a full 360 of this room.
Yeah, it's pretty
cool. Because behind me is shelves of old stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But
this is a cool room.
Yeah, it is.
I need this at my house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might throw an AC vent in here, but
yeah, it wouldn't hurt.
Oh, there's one on the floor.
Man.
But yeah,
it's not working very good.
Yeah, I'm like, why am I wearing a long sleeve shirt? I don't even know.
I'm wearing short sleeve shirts, and I'm like hot, so I don't feel bad.
Dude, I just remembered I'm wearing a t-shirt. I wore this to take this off. It was a little chilly this morning.
Oh,
that South Carolina heat. Y'all don't have that here.
Not right now. We don't.
We got up here and we drove several hours. We didn't stop until we were almost. It was Tennessee when we finally stopped. Got out of the vehicle. It was like, oh my god, where's my hoodie? It was like,
yeah,
it was
this weather is perfect.
It was like 68 degrees and I was freezing.
Yes, nice. Shorts and a
not
hoodie.
So how hot is it South Carolina right now.
115.
with
20.
with the well, not now, but
Son of a.
No, I think it's
honestly though,
80s, mid 80s.
with the humidity and like the whole real feel, like it wasn't even a month ago. It was.
Yeah, it was over 100.
It was
real
over 100.
feel. Real feel. And then real feel now is probably 92, 95.
Yeah, but the actual
Okay.
temperature is less, but the humidity just makes it so
And
much
it'll be that
worse.
way
I think
till
it was
October.
like last week, and like Kentucky, like weather's weird, but like last week, I think it was like 90 or something. It's hot, but
Yeah.
or maybe it was 2 weeks ago.
Is the
I don't
breeze?
know at all.
Do you have a good breeze where you live?
Yeah, pretty good.
Because like where I live, we're not
cool
far
breeze.
from the coast, and the breeze is great. But when I lived in West Ashley, there's no breeze.
Yeah.
So 92 degrees there felt like the sun. Where like at my house, it's not that bad.
We get some of the wind that comes off the Lake Moultrie.
Yeah, I know you have wind.
So
up there.
there's a good breeze up there.
Yeah. Yeah, this stuff's important in that. I just wonder how much in the mountains. If I said, hey, I'm moving to Kentucky tomorrow, which I'm not, but if I was, I don't want to live in Lexington and I don't want to live in McKee, but I want to be like near Jackson County, this area. Is there anywhere you'd be like, that's a good spot to look at?
Throwing me out there again. Always put me on the spot.
Her and I were talking about it last night.
Gus never does this to me.
I think
It's my job.
I think outside of Richmond.
Yeah. I think I liked Richmond.
You know, Georgetown is nice.
Did
But
we go through there?
I like the small town feel too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big town, but you know, it's still kind of
But
got
it's
that
not
feel.
it's not Lexington, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a little smaller.
I know that we got to go
It's just
out
south of here.
because I'm looking at
Yeah.
like take the profits from my house and then buy property and a house. So I can't have anything nice. It's got to be like pretty cheap. But I want to live off. I don't want to live right off the road. Like I want to be back up in there.
I got you.
So I think we're gonna have to be. If I were to move here, I would have to be like 45 minutes from Lexington for sure.
like in between Richmond and McKee.
Yeah,
A little closer to Richmond,
Yeah.
but not
McKee.
In McKee, yeah.
Yeah, I like that spot too. So this is So this is not bad for being what it is. I don't believe.
It's a nice blend.
That's good.
2 year, 3, 5, and 12.
You know what's funny is we know people that are like, don't drink blends, I only drink single barrels. And then I'm like, come on, man. Like to be like, I'll never drink a Little Book because it's a blend. That's kind of a dumb thing to say.
I just think it really it just really narrow minded.
Well, I mean, some of the best I've ever had are blends.
Most bourbons are blends. Really.
Yeah,
I mean,
almost all of them.
Yeah.
Unless it is specifically stated as a single barrel.
Yeah.
Like Jim Beam White Label, that's a blend. There's a bunch of stuff they mix together to achieve a taste.
It's the same with Scotch drinkers. I only drink single malt. You realize that like 90-something% of Scotches are blends. So you're really narrowing and limiting your selection, but that's fine if that's what you want to do, I guess.
If it's not from Isla, I don't drink it.
Are y'all Scotch drinkers?
Try to be. We dabble with it, but we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We try.
The problem is that it's harder to find and it's expensive. It's expensive to experiment and play with, right? Like,
do I like this? I don't know. Let's spend $100 and find out.
yeah, let me spend.
Nope, I don't.
Let me spend $120 to find out I don't like a. It's
The problem with Scotch too is you're supposed to put water in it. That's just how it's drank. You're supposed to add water to it.
See, I didn't even know that.
And it's just because like with this, it's like if you need to add water, you can, but we'd prefer if you didn't. But like Scotch, if you go to Scotland, my 15 years there, tenure professor, but anywhere you go to have Scotch, like just people put water in it.
Yeah,
they water it down. So I wonder if Scotch watered down.
I didn't know that.
I just don't think it's something I want to do.
Yeah,
I don't know. But so do you? I guess you're not a Scotch drinker either.
No, not really.
Works at Jim Beam.
I tried.
Probably some kind of blasphemy.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, Jim Beam owns some Scotch, labels, but
shows up to work and I need that white helmet, sir. we heard you drink some Scotch the other day.
Well, he said, I heard him say one time,
Kentucky.
I was on here, you said that you really like Woodford. You'll start your day with Woodford. And I was like, shh, don't get in trouble. Not on our sake. It's like Pepsi and Coke. Opener. Well, because like Pepsi and Coke, if you drink, because we had a friend, Chris. We had a friend named Chris, and he, I was going to say, he worked for Pepsi, and they were like, welcome to Pepsi. Here's your Pepsi shit. And if we ever see you buying Coke, we'll fire you. Am I lying? It's a true story. True story. But it's like
do that.
UPS. You work for UPS. You can't ship FedEx. I'm just kidding. I made that part.
I always think about that when I drive by where we live, like the Mercedes plant, and like the Volvo plant, and you see other manufacturers out there. Like, I wonder if those folks are just they're never going to get a promotion because they're not driving.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you're driving that BMW at Volvo, you're not getting promoted.
What's funny is they have plant cars that are cars that they're making that they don't sell. And you'll see, like, Volvo has a bunch of them, and you'll see there was a guy that lived next to us, and I'd see him every morning, and I'd be looking at this Volvo, and I'm like, that is a wild looking car. And you get up on it, and you're like, you Google it, doesn't exist. You're like, what is this thing? And you look at the license plate, and it's like experimental car for plant use only. And you're like, holy shit, this is one of one. It's just something they made, and this dude's driving it around.
Yeah, that's kind of cool though.
They're super cool. If they end up making that car, it would be really cool.
Like the prototypes you see at the big Detroit car.
Yeah, but on there they like speckle paint them, so you can't do contour lines and actually figure out what they look like. That's the reason they do that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you can't see actual lines of the car. But like this thing was a beautiful paint job. Big nice rims though.
It's just a wealth of knowledge over here.
Yeah, he's
big. Well, it's computer. It's computer
can
programming is what it is. You take a picture of a car and use a computer program. It can automatically contour the car, but with those splotches and funny looking zebra patterns, the computer program can't see the lines.
Gotcha.
That's the reason to do it.
To prevent other people from copying styles and body.
Yeah. So they can't be like, oh, and then we'll make Kia look like this.
Yeah, right.
Oh, cake. Pie. We need you to try this piece of this pie. But while I cut the pie, Jessica, can you give me a solid? Can you give me a plate and a fork?
Executive assistant.
Por favor. Thank you very much. And then while I cut the pie, how long does it take to make Chief?
How long does it take to make Chief?
A Jim Beam.
Well,
thank you.
I have been on the department for about 16 years, and I've been chief for about 8 of those.
So it took 8 years?
I guess so. I guess that's the magic number.
Was there a chief before you?
No.
Because I remember that there was like a time frame where there wasn't a fire department.
Long ago, the earliest that I've ever heard about the fire department was brought back in by Baker Beam himself, our favorite, and he brought it in. He bought a 54 Mac that he had restored back to specs, and then that's what they used. I want to say it was mid to late 80s. Or so, somewhere around in there, from what I've gathered. And then, and really, I found a old like picture frame that has kind of the command structure of like back when Baker started the fire department there, and he was one of the chiefs. I believe he was a battalion chief maybe or something, but he was one of, the many that, protected Jim Beam at the time. And I don't know if that officer structure or command structure left when Baker left, or I'm not sure when that happened, but.
So now there's only one?
No, there's more than one. I'm not the only one. So I have an assistant chief at my plant, which is Randy. Hello, Randy.
Hello, Randy.
Hi, Randy.
And then we have a chief at the Booker No plant, and he also has an assistant.
What's his Instagram?
He doesn't have one.
Missing
I need
out.
to talk to him about this.
Yeah, you should tell him how much money you make doing this.
Yeah. And then he'll laugh at me and like, But he's actually over the warehouse at Booker No.
Oh, is he?
The chief over there. So, yeah.
You ever go over there and be like, "What's up, chief?" And he's like, "What's up, chief?" That's what I would do.
Well, it's actually Randy, my assistant chief's son.
Oh, is it?
That's the chief over there, yeah.
So you guys all get together and just chief out?
What's up, chief? How you doing, chief? I'm good, chief.
No.
We're going to come film that on location.
You're like an episode of Family Guy.
Yeah. We're gonna have
Just keep saying it.
We're gonna have a chief episode.
Tell me about this pie here.
All right,
We're going to tell you about it because it's something else.
this pie was made by.
This is a big piece of pie you just cut me, y'all.
All right, so I'll start here. So when pilgrims came to America,
Oh, Lord.
no, but when they settled the West and people started settling Kentucky, there was a family last name is Isaacs.
Okay.
Okay, so the Isaacs got charters from the government to settle this land in Kentucky, here where we live. So in McKee, the Isaacs settled this place. I mean, predates land deeds, predates all of it. They lived there their entire lives. There was also other families, one of which was the McCoys. So this is a relative of the McCoy family. Her grandpa was an original McCoy. She married into this Isaacs family.
As in Hatfield and McCoy.
Yeah, Hatfield McCoy.
I got you.
She worked for the tourism department for Kentucky, and she cooked bourbon stuff. So she's a bourbon chef, and she's been making stuff like this. So this is a bourbon pecan pie made with Buffalo Trace, and she's been making it for years. Well, she's retired now and works with Rocco on some of the veteran stuff. So she makes dinner, like we'll go hunt and then come to her place and have lunch and stuff. But she makes this, and there's an apple pie that you got to try a little piece of too, or as big of a piece you want.
Yeah. I've yet to go to her house and not be served a piece of pie and offered milk.
She makes crazy things.
Offered anything.
This is all homemade?
All homemade. The crust, all of it.
I watched her. So
This is ridiculous.
The first time I went to his, I was telling Jessica about this the other day. The first time I went to her house, she was trying to cook something for Rick, and she was kind of trying to do it quickly. So I think she was trying to use the pre-baked pie crusts that you just kind of thaw out in the oven, and they kept collapsing. So she got mad, and while she's talking and like mid-conversation without looking at a recipe or anything else, she just starts busting out flour and ingredients and makes a perfect pie crust from scratch while talking. And that would have taken me an hour
Rolls it out,
and reading a recipe to do it. And she did it.
Throws it in a pan, takes the knife and does the, to go around to make the.
This is so good.
Like she's just like
there's
this.
like chocolate or something. In this.
Yeah, there's chocolate.
Yeah, it's chocolate bourbon pecan pie.
It's insanely good, right?
It is.
She candied these pecans as well.
Jeez, that's nuts.
She said last night, I'm not, I don't know what the exact words were, but basically, cooking is my thing.
Yeah.
And she ain't wrong.
That's so good.
It's crazy good. And you're welcome to have a piece. Or at least try it. Oh, we got to drink this too. So we'll do this. What's this?
That?
That's the Barton.
Oh.
That I don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah. That's the Barton that Chad left us.
Who's Chad?
Amity of the Bourbon.
I got you.
He writes the whiskey reviews on our site.
He knows who it is. I just had to remind him.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah, I like Chad.
He's got a great page.
Whenever
I've talked to him a little bit, but not a whole lot.
Oh, cool. When
If
whiskey
didn't
and
blow
white
past this place, you could have met him.
when whiskey and Whitetails blows
is
up,
what he was trying to say.
and we have a headquarters, do you want to leave Jim Beam and be our fire chief?
Yeah, sure.
We'll have multiple properties.
Neither of us are laughing. That was a serious question.
We'll have multiple
I want
properties.
you. I'd like you to leave your pension and retirement, everything you've built up for Jim Beam, and just come work for us.
Dude, we owe you a TV.
It's gonna be fine.
Remember, we're getting a TV. When's your 20 year? That's
What are you
next
talking
year.
about?
That's right. We made a. Didn't we? I have to.
You're
listen.
20 years at Jim Beam. 2022.
It is 2023.
Okay, so
That's
we got a
coming
couple
soon.
years. We're buying him a TV.
I forget how that conversation happened. Though, why did we say?
Because I asked him what he got for 20 years of service, and he was like, "No, like, thanks."
Oh,
And I was like, "Well, where I work, they
I
give you
forgot all about the.
they give you a TV.
He's oh, that's right. He was like, that sounds cool. And we were like, fine, we'll buy.
We're gonna buy you a TV, so we're gonna buy you a TV for your 20 years of service."
I got for 10 years at the company I work at. I got a watch. I was like, I thought that was a retirement thing. But it was weird. Like they send you this email gift, not gift card, but like congratulations, like an e-card.
Yeah.
And it's like here's a link to go pick out a gift, and there's like 50 gifts to choose from. Everything from like George Foreman's to
I know what you're talking about.
luggage and air fryers and all kinds of random stuff. And I was like, I don't like. There was
It's
like
a link to Bed Bath and Beyond.
an old fashioned like boom box that you put CDs into, and I was like,
Keep it under $60.
Well, some of it was really cheap, and some of it was really expensive. I was like, This is really confusing. Like, you want to congratulate me, but you're giving me this. I don't understand.
So like,
See, that's
hopefully
how
he picks the
Jim
George
Beam is.
Foreman.
Jim Beam has like it's like you get one link for like a 5 year, you get another link for 10.
There you go.
You know, and every 5 years it's the same way, and you get like, but ours is like you get like 4 or 5 things to choose from and whatever. But it's usually like one bar stool, or it's always like,
there was some really
I get
random
one
stuff.
now, and then like in 5 years later I get another one. Or
After
how
20
all
years,
work
20
is.
years of service, you can finish your whole table.
Oh,
And then I remember clicking on the link on.
You do 3, 5, 10, 15, and then on the 20th year, they change the bar stools, so that doesn't happen.
You're screwed. I know. That's, But like, I remember getting on this link and I'm like, I just get frustrated. I'm like, it's half working. So I'm like, I'm done. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not even getting my
What'd you
bar
get?
stool.
You didn't get nothing?
I didn't get nothing. No, for some reason it wasn't working. And then I was like, you know what?
So just send it to me. I would have picked some.
That's what they want to happen.
Yeah, they want you to get
They want
mad.
you to
They
forget.
succeeded. So I was done with that page in like no time.
I found the most expensive thing on there I wanted. I was like, well, what's something that I'm going to use? Because
fossil watch?
it's my 10-year anniversary. I don't want to buy like, I don't know, something for the kitchen. I want something for me. So I was like, well, it's either jewelry or a watch. So I found a watch, and that's what I got. A Citizen watch.
Citizen Kane.
No, it's like $100 Citizen watch. It wasn't anything crazy, but
That's nice.
better than a toaster,
I got
a vacuum sealer.
Yeah.
Vacuum sealers are nice, man.
I need a new vacuum sealer.
Same.
All right, we have a lot to do today.
Yeah.
So, Chief, thanks for coming. It's not like how do I close this? Because we're not even closing this. We're going to hang out for the rest of the day. So,
That's right.
but I guess we're closing out the episode. Thanks for coming on the episode at Chief Mercer. Do you have merch yet?
No.
Bro.
No merch. It's coming.
Let's do a Well Raider shirt. You sell it.
A what?
A Well Raider shirt.
All right. We'll throw it on there.
Yeah. So look out for future merch from Chief Mercer.
Merch.
Is Andy driving?
Yeah. I'm not driving. Look at her. She's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm not.
It sounded like you was, we're going to buy some
No, I got
merch.
super excited. We're going to buy some merch. We're
Merch.
going
Sorry.
to sell some merch for Chief.
Bad jokes. All right. Fine.
There's just a lot of words. No, I mean, like, that I know when I'm drunk, and I'm not. I'm not sober, but I'm not drunk.
We've been having tiny tastes
Yes.
for
Tiny sips.
All day.
That's fine.
And I've been eating delicious pecan chocolate pie.
That's pretty good.
All right. So we're out at Chief Mercer, wherever you get your stuff.
Thanks for joining us, as always.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Guys, can you hit that button?